Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you have a good day, and so let's dive right in. So today we're actually gonna cover mathematical functions. So first, in Roblox Studio we have a library called math, and this library that are called math holds a lot of functions that are useful for several mathematical operations. So yeah, we're gonna cover all the mathematical functions that are used a lot. So yeah, so first of all, how we can, or actually never mind, so we have the first function, it's abs, or the absolute value. Well, it just returns the absolute value of the parameter that it's given. So yeah, just for example, if the parameter or x it's negative, then it's gonna turns it into positive, and if it's positive, then it's gonna still positive. Well, let's try it here. So I'm just gonna make a function script. Okay, and I'm just gonna zoom for you guys. Cool. Now print math, so we should call the library and then dot, and then we have access to all our stuff. Cool. Now let's try math.abs, or absolute value. Will, and you give it a parameter, for example 20, and let's run, and let's see the output. So it's given us 20, and what about minus 20? So it's given us 20, as you see. So it just returns the positive value of any number you given it, even if it's like negative. So it's just gonna return the absolute value. So yeah, now let's look for something else. Well, that's not used a lot. This math.attend2, it's used for getting the actual angle between two numbers, well, between two coordinates, but I wasn't gonna cover this in this video. And we have math.ceil. Well, this math.ceil just returns the smallest integer larger than or equal to x. What that means, so let's see here. So I'm just gonna make a variable, actually, just to keep it cool. xp equal, just stand for expression, just so you can see what's going on right there without that freaking parentheses in whenever. So exp equal to math dot, and we want math dot ceil. And well, what that math dot ceil does, it just return the biggest number, or the biggest integer of decimal value. For example, we have 2, 2. Well, the biggest smallest integer, it's 3. Now let's see if that's gonna happen or not. So as you see, 3. Cool. And what about 2? Just 2 without a decimal place. Well, this should give us 2 because it's already an integer. So yeah, this function just used for rounding to the nearest integer possible. Well, there's two functions that are related. So we have math.ceil and math.floor. Well, math.floor, it's the same thing. It's rounding to the nearest integer, but this time, however, in math.floor we round down, so we round to the nearest biggest integer. So for example 2.2 of the last test we got 3, and now let's see what we're gonna get. We actually got 2 because we rounded down. 2.7, we're gonna round down 2. Okay, and let's just do math.ceil, and as you see we're gonna round up to the nearest integer, 3. Cool. Now this is math.ceil and math.floor. It just rounding numbers to the nearest integer. Cool. Now let's see the other functions. We have math.clamp. Well, math.clamp gets the first parameter and the second, well, 3 parameters. The first one is the number that we want to operate in, and the second number, it's the minimum value, and the third number, it's the maximum value. Well, what this function does actually, it just limits this x value or the parameter 1 between this minimum that we given it in parameter 2 and the maximum that we given it in parameter 3. So how this gonna be? For example, if we want a number, or actually for example if we have a percent, wait, map.clamp. Okay, so for example we have just 0%, well just 0, and well the minimum we want it to be 0, so it's never gonna be negative value. It's just always gonna be positive or nil value because we set the minimum it to 0 and the maximum, for example, let's set it to 100. So here we given it 0, so it's not really out of the range of 0 and 100. It's not, so it should be rated as it is. As you see, 0. Cool. Now what if we did minus 10? In normal we should get the minimum value and it's 0 because we're actually no longer in range of these two values between 0 and 100. We aren't in between 0 and 100, so we should get the minimum value possible or the nearest value possible, so it's 0. As you see. Cool. Now what about 52? So 52, it's in range of these two numbers of this minimum and maximum, so normally it should just print out as it is. Cool. And now for example we have 101, and well if you notice it, well 101, it's not in range of this because it's bigger than 100. It's bigger than the maximum value allowed, so it should round it down to the maximum value. It's 100, so as you see, 100. And that's actually, this thing are used in a lot of operations, especially for example if we have a bar like a health bar that should not actually get out of 100%, because if it is, then just the bar gonna go crazy and it's gonna be a bug. So yeah, we don't want that, so we should make sure to limit it. So just actually for limiting the value or the x value, so the first parameter between the minimum value and the maximum value. So cool. Now we've got this math.clamp. Cool. Now what we have, math.cos, we used a lot in tangents, but well angles and stuff, but not now. It doesn't gonna actually get into it now. Math.floor, we've seen it. And well, math.f mode, it just returned the reminder of the division of x by y that round the quotient towards 0. Well, what that means, Well, let me get into paint.net actually. Just for a second, please. Okay, so we have our canvas right now. So we have actually this division right here, as you see. Well, we have, for example, 8 by 4. So 8 by 4 is gonna give us a quotient of 2, as we all know. And sorry for my freaking drawing. I'm just drawing with I'm actually writing just with the mouse, not a touchpad or something. And so yeah, and this is gonna give us a reminder of 0, because 8 by 4 gonna give us exactly 2. There's no reminder. So, but what if we have right now, wait, brush, let's get with 50, okay, oh dear, never mind, actually gonna get a new one anyway. Okay, so let's get our pencil. So I have another one right here. So for example, 5 by 3. So this actually gonna give us 1, and gonna give us the reminder of 2. Well, 5 by 3 gonna give you 1 in the quotient, because well, without a decimal value, of course. Well, you can do decimal value, and the reminder of 2, because well, 5 by 3, I'm really terrible at explaining this stuff, but anyway, it's the reminder, as you see. So 5 by 3, it's 1 and 1, so we have 2 reminding from the actual division. So anyway, sorry for that terrible explanation, but okay, I think you got it. So how we can get the reminder actually, but just by doing that, 5, you can do this percent, I think. Well, let's just do it. As you see, 2, because 5 by 3 gives us, well, sorry, gives us the reminder of 2, and this is by this percent symbol right here. It's on your keyboard, and you can do 2 math.fnode 5 by 3. It's the same. Run 2. And for a precise, or actually there is no reminder, just gonna give you 0. As you see, 0. So that's actually we used in a lot of cases. For example, let me give you an example right here, a cool example. For example, we have a time variable equal to 0. Well, every second we're gonna add, actually, or not actually 1 second, let's go just 0.1 second, and so every 0.1 second we're gonna add 1 to the time, equal to time plus 1. Let's just think about this 0.1 seconds as actually, or actually let's go with a better, or anyway, never mind, let's just go with it, and then we're gonna apply it in a real thing in the Roblox Studio. Well, anyway, so every 0.1 second we're gonna add a 1 into the time. So now here, let's imagine that this time it's by hours, so it's representing time by hours. So how we can do this? I mean hours, well, hours can't go beyond 24. You know what I mean? So how we can do that? Let's first print time as it is right now. And well, actually, as you see, it reached the maximum of hours, so it's not like a day or whatever. So let's actually limit it. So what we can do, just by getting the reminder time and by 24, for example, the format of 24, we can do the format of 12 too, but anyway, we're gonna go with 24, and let's see what's gonna happen right here. 1 2, as you see, and it reached 24 and reseated again, but the time actually is still as it is. So, and using this reminder, we actually limited this thing just by that. So how we can go with that to actually get that time of this, of the Roblox Studio or our place, to actually loop like that. So let's do it. Where's the lighting? Okay, we have the lighting here, and we have the clock time. So if you do 22, and but if you do, for example, 25, it's gonna give you 0 because it's a bigger value. Well, if it's out of range, it's just gonna give you a 0. So let's try it actually. So let's get our lighting service. Lighting equal game get service lighting. Cool. Now we want actually to access this property. So lighting dot clock time equal to time. So here we're gonna set it directly to our time variable that are just increasing without any reset or something. It's just gonna go from 0 until the loop ends. So yeah, time plus 1. And now if we did that, and as you see, it did actually a full day night cycle, but as you see, when it's finished the first day, it just stopped it from working. It's not even looping around again. So let's see what happened right there. So we have clock time, it's 0. Well, because our time variable, it's now like greater than 24, and 24 is the maximum. So that's why that happened. So now let's try time. Let's get the reminder of time divided by 24. And 24 it's the maximum, as you know. So now let's see how this is gonna do. So as you see, it just looping around even if the time it's like that. So as you see, it's just gonna stay like that. Now we actually can make a day-night cycle. Cool. Let's just wait a little bit. Let's do 0.1, and we're gonna have some smooth transitions, I guess. As you see, cool. Can even make it more realistic and lower its speed down. Okay, and if we see the lighting right now, it's changing, and it's the day. So anyway, I've got actually into this reminder a lot. I just wanted to share with you this because maybe you're gonna use in the future of your scripting career. Like when I just started, I don't know what that reminder could do, like just a reminder what I can do with it. So I'm just giving you examples so you can know the power of this reminder too. And there's a lot of other mathematical functions, I'm gonna cover right now math.max and math.min. Well, math.max, first let's go back to our actual variable, print xpr. Cool. Now let's do math dot, and let's get our minimum. So this math.min gets infinite values. Well, the first value, it's the actual number that we want to operate in. For example, or actually, well, infinite numbers, and it gives us the smallest number of all the parameters that you passed in. So it's actually a variadic function. It gets infinite parameters. Well, you can't tell infinite parameters. Maybe Lua, I think it's limited to kind of 99 parameters, I think, per function. So anyway, you can tell like that. So for example, let's get some actual numbers going on. For example, 10 and 14. For example, 0 and 7 minus 20. And well, as we know, it's minus 20. It's the smallest number right here. So let's run. And it should give us minus 20 because it's the smallest number right there. So yeah, and that's why. Now we have the maximum, math.max. Well, this do the actual inverted operation. It gives you the maximum number. Well, the maximum number, or actually the biggest number here in this set of parameters, it's actually 14, as you know. And let's run it, and it should give us 14. Cool. So this have a lot of cool like examples, like it's too powerful, math.min and math.max stuff. So anyway, what we have math.noise. That's a little bit complicated topic. We're gonna cover it in the next video. And math.po. Okay, let's see what this math.po. Well, it just actually returned the power of a number. Math.pow, for example, 2, the power of 3. Well, 2 multiplied by 2, it's 4, and 4 multiplied by 2, it's 8. So it should give us 8, because 2 the power of 3 should give us 8, as you see. Cool. So for example, 2 to the power of 8, and it's given us 256. Okay, and you can actually do it in another way, and like this. So wait, 2 and this symbol and 8. Okay, as you see, this symbol, it's for the power off. Well, let me zoom in a little bit closer so you can see it. Okay, as you see, this symbol, it's the power off. So it's gonna give us the same result, as you see. Cool. Now let's see some other stuff. Well, math.rad just give us well, you give it angle in radians and in angles, and it give it to you in radian. So let's try it. Math.rad. Let's give it, for example, 360. Well, this is a full circle, so it's given us 6.28 blah blah blah. Anyway, so actually let's see how much pi we have in this value. Divided by math.pi. Well, this is a constant in the math um, in the math module or in the math library. It's math.pi. So we have actually two numbers, or actually constants, sorry. There is math.pi and math.huge. Well, it's listed here. Math.pi and the value of pi, it's obvious, and math.huge. Well, math.huge, it's actually almost infinity. Well, it's infinity in Lua, and it's actually equal to a really big number that can not be represented in a normal value. Well, it can be represented just in power, at least in Lua. Well, because you know the power of PCs, it's limited, as we know. Every PC and every language have its own power of calculating numbers, and so in Lua it's limited to. Anyway, so let's actually run this and see how much pi we have in 360 degrees. So we have 2 pi's in 360. Well, in a full circle we have 2 pi. Cool. And let's actually introduce you to math.deg. Well, this is actually the opposite. Well, you give it the radians, the angel in radians, and it give it to you in angles, I mean, in the normal angles that we know, in degree. So yeah, let's give it math.pi multiplied, sorry, math.pi divided by 2. So 2 pi's, we given it 2 pi's, and we just tell it to give us 2 pi's in degrees. So it should give us 360, because 2 pi it's equal to a 360 degree. Cool. Or actually that. So anyway, so what we have 2, let's go back. So math.rad, math.random. I actually talked about this number a lot, but well, it just gives you a random number between a minimum value and the maximum value. Well, math.random, you can actually do just one parameter and it's actually gonna give you a random number between 0 and I think 0 or 1. I'm not sure about that, but let's see. Let's just give it 1, and I think it's gonna give us from 0. So actually giving us right now 1. So if you given it one parameter, then this parameter gonna be the maximum value, and well, the minimum value in default it's 1. So for example, if we given it 100, it's gonna give us a random number between 1 and 100. So if we run right now the script, so it's giving us right now 61. Okay, 67, and yeah, it just gives you a random number. By the way, it's just a random number for us, but it's actually an algorithm that actually calculates some, well, not sure random numbers, but a sequence of numbers that are relative actually to the current time, for example, and well, the seed that you given it. Well, I'm gonna talk here about the seed. So how you can actually change the seed? Well, the seed actually in Roblox it changed automatically every run, depending I think on the time or whatever. I don't know, I'm not sure about that, but anyway, so if the seed doesn't want to change like automatically, we're gonna get 61 every time, or 60, or like one number every time in the first iteration, like the same sequence of numbers every time we run again, if we use the same actual seed. For example, let's well, it's called math.random seed. Okay, so for example, let's get math.randomSeed and let's give it actually a value. For example, we're just gonna give it one seed every time we run, and let's see what it's gonna give us. 97. So in the next time it should give us 97 again. Why? Because it's the same seed. It's one. It's the same seed. It's one. So yeah. Well, actually, in other languages we use the current time to actually get a seed, a random seed. So math.time. No, actually not math.time. Sorry, it's time. I think. Can't really remember. Wait. I think time like this, or not sure. Let's actually get a look at the time library. Roblox Studio. Cool. Okay. And okay, sorry. So it's os.time. By the way, this OS library, it's actually, well, these two libraries, it's actually in Lua. But here in Roblox, some actual libraries are limited, like they actually edited on them. Like they added some stuff, or maybe they removed some stuff, or so yeah, just depending on the actual thing. So for example, if we get the OS, well, where is the OS? os.time. OS. Where's the OS? Can't find it here. os.time. os.time. Oh, I don't know. Let's do os.time. Oh, dude. os.time Roblox. So anyway, what that OS actually, it's a library in Lua, and well, what that OS library serves in Lua, it just actually gives you some functions to actually communicate with the operating system of your computer. But Roblox Studio actually edited on that thing, like sandbox that OS library, just to give us time only, not another stuff, because they don't want the players to get infected or whatever, any malicious actions in the game. So anyway, os.time, I think they should get it, or yep. So as you see, we got 71 right now, 71, and now it should actually get another thing. So as you see, 20, because we're getting actually the time in seconds from I don't know, actually I can't really remember the year that they started this os.time counting, but we can actually just print it right here so you can see it. So this is freaking big number of os.time. So anyway, we got now what it's random seed and math.random. By the way, so this is to get a random number between 1 and the actual parameter that you've given it. So by the way, if you're given it two values, I mean two parameters, then it's gonna get the first number as minimum and the second number as maximum. Well, let's get the minimum, for example, minus 100. Okay, let's see. As you see, I got minus 96. So actually, let's just clean this up. Okay, and let's run again. So it's given us minus 55. Okay, now what? Now I actually want to get something, to tell you something. Well, this math.random return a integer, like integer value, not a decimal value between the minimum and the maximum value that you're giving it. That's it. It gets two values or two parameters, and it gives you a random integer, not a decimal or real number. It's just an integer value. So if you want actually to get like a decimal value of two places after the actual comma, so we can do that. So we're just gonna actually get it. For example, if we want between -1 and 1 and with two places, so you're gonna actually see, you just divide by 100 here, and we're gonna get actually two places after the comma, a random number of two places. So as you see, minus 0.23, minus 0.01, and 0.99. For example, if we want three places, we just do like this and divide it. So now we should get three places between -1 and 1. As you see, cool. Now what if we want between -20 and 20? So we can do it like this, 20, and change this to 20. And we're gonna get right now a random number between between -20 and 20, and a decimal value of three places after the comma. That's just a mathematical trick, a little mathematical trick to get that problem. And just to make sure I give you this, because you're really gonna need it in the future, especially when you are in some advanced topics. So anyway, we have the math.random seed and math.random. Well, math.sign. Well, math.sign just return like gives you a clue about if the number that you're giving it is actually negative, positive, or nil. I mean 0. So let's see how it works. Math.sign. For example, let's give it 21. So 21, as we know, it's positive value, so it should give us 1. As you see, 1. What about -21? Now, as you see, as we know actually, that -21, it's negative, so it should give us -1. As you see, we have -1. Cool. And what about 0? Well, 0 should give us 0 because it's nil. Like, run. As you see, 0. This episode a little bit long, but I'm making sure to give you all the information that I have in this mathematical functions, because you actually gonna use a lot of math when you actually get to a big like level, a topic that have a lot of math and some complicated math. Well, I'm not that advanced, but well, I've got a lot of problems and I fixed it like just by searching in Google or just exploring or whatever. So math.qrt, well, what this function does, it just give you you gonna give it a number like one parameter, and it's just gonna give you the square root of this parameter. For example, the square root of 4, as we all know, it's 2. So because 2 multiplied by 2, it's 4, or 2 times 2, it's 4. As you see, it's giving us 2. What about, for example, 16? As you see, 4. What about 25? Run. And it's 5. So the square root of 25, it's 5, because 5 times 5, it's 25. So yeah, really simple. I actually just tell you that so even little kids maybe can understand what's going on right here. Even that square root actually, and the power, just like you learn it in school until college, I mean. So anyway, and the constants, we all know it. By the way, there is more than all this we covered. There is math.sin and math.cos and math.tan. I used actually a lot too in angels and like handling circles and circle-y stuff and angles in general. So, and math.deg and math.rad too, especially in C-frames. Math.atan too, I used a lot too, because I want to get the angle, but I actually gonna get into these topics in another video where I'm gonna introduce you how to make actually a circle or whatever with just multiple objects, you know. So well, it's already a big episode, as you see, 42 minutes already. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. So bye.